The goal of this video is to demystify what chemical engineers do. If you want to learn more about the profession of chemical engineering, this video is for you. Let's start off by asking, what is engineering? Merriam-Webster defines engineering as the application of science and mathematics by which the properties of matter and the sources of energy in nature are made useful to people. The bottom line is that engineers are problem solvers. What is a chemical engineer? Merriam-Webster defines chemical engineering as engineering dealing with the industrial application of chemistry. Engineering is like an ice cream cone, and the different types of engineering are like different flavors of ice cream. Chemical engineering is just one of many flavors of engineering. Examples of other flavors include mechanical engineering and electrical engineering. Some things that make chemical engineering so hard to understand is that there are many industries that chemical engineers can work in, and that chemical engineers can take on diverse roles. Some industries that chemical engineers work in include oil and gas, coating and resins, food and beverage, pharmaceuticals, and plastic and polymers. To help demystify what chemical engineering is, why it is important, and what chemical engineers do, we interviewed a few people who have had experience in industry. We asked them to introduce themselves and talk about their experiences. Here they are. What company do you work for, and what does it do?
I'm Austin Blair, and I work for Sherwin-Williams, who's located all across the United States and all over the world. I did some work in Illinois and as well as in Pittsburgh for the Advanced Coatings Division. Sherwin-Williams makes paints and all kinds of coatings for many different materials and products.
So I work for a company named Lubrizol Corporation. Lubrizol is a company based in Cleveland, Ohio, but it's a worldwide company with plants in areas such as China and Europe, as well as the United States and South America. Lubrizol creates a variety of specialty chemicals, from engine oils and lubricants to plastics and medical devices such as tubing.
My name is Erin, and I worked for Johnson & Johnson. They have 3 different areas. They work with pharma, med devices, and consumer goods, so I worked in consumer goods.
I'm Matt Burkowski. I work for City Brewing Company in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and they are a large contract brewer and co-packer, which means that they produce other companies' beverages and package them for.
What do chemical engineers do?
Chemical engineers use math, physics, and chemistry to turn raw materials into more useful products.
I think that chemical engineers combine different things to make processes better to help everyday life.
Chemical engineers use mathematics, physics, and chemistry in order to transport, design, and create materials and energy.
Why do you think chemical engineering is important?
What makes what chemical engineers do important is that we work to improve the daily life of millions or billions of people.
I think chemical engineering is important because we play a big role with the safety and ethics of different processes that directly impact our consumers.
Chemical engineering is important because many materials and substances require chemical engineers to produce those materials and substances on a large scale.
How does your company help society?
Sherwin-Williams makes protective coatings for all the different types of materials, such as soda cans. They coat the inside so the acid in the drink doesn't eat through the aluminum can.
So at our site, we made Listerine, which is a mouthwash, and then we made different things like Aveeno lotions and Lubriderm and Bengay and other products like that. So I would say our biggest thing being mouthwash helped because oral care is really big, and back before they had mouthwash, people had all kinds of diseases, so we've helped put a stop to mouth diseases.
My company produces beverages for people to enjoy.
What did you do on a daily basis?
I spent a lot of time working on process safety management, so making sure that all the valves that we said we had and different safety measures within the manufacturing process were there.
In Pittsburgh, I worked at Sherwin-Williams R&D facility where I did studies on mistakes within a process on a small scale to help the company have a better understanding for the possible outcomes if a mistake was made in production.
While working for Lubrizol, I scale up processes that are created by chemists into commercial scale.
What projects did you work on?
Out in Illinois, I worked in a resin plant for Sherwin-Williams where I did process improvement projects. For example, I automated and optimized the heating and cooling system on some of the thin tanks in the facility, which are where the hot resin comes from the reactor, and they put more additives in to get it to the proper specs, what they're looking for.
One of the projects I worked on was for a liquid nitrogen system for our packaging lines. The project was to ensure that the liquid nitrogen that we had in our storage tank was able to remain a liquid as it traveled to the packaging lines. I had to take into account aspects of thermodynamics and heat transfer and pressure drops as the liquid would travel through the piping systems.
What is your favorite thing about your job?
My two favorite things about working were how much I learned and all the people that I worked with. Everyone was very helpful and taught me a lot.
I liked the chance to work on a variety of different projects. I worked on more than one different type of anti-foam, and all of these anti-foams had different types of end users and end goals.
What I liked best about my job was that it was different every day. So some days I was out on the manufacturing floor following lines, other days I was getting to call different vendors and talk to people on the phone. There was meetings, but there was also time on the floor, and I just got to interact with a lot of people in a lot of different ways.
My favorite thing about my job was the people that I got to work with. They made the company really fun and enjoyable every single day.
Overall, chemical engineers can work in a variety of industries and do a lot of different things. We hope that this video helped you learn more concretely about what chemical engineers do. Thanks for watching. Video made by Austin, Chris, John, and Sarah.